Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. God bless. Hello, PG and chat. Hello, hello, hello. Mommy of six, number one in here tonight. Yes, yes. Much love, Purple Hearts. God bless. God bless. Number two, Mommy of six again. All right. I'm kidding. She said, please hit that like button as you come in. Amen. Kathy, number two. Hi, PG mods and chatters. Hello, hello, hello to you, Kathy. Much love, much love. Mommy of six. Hey, Kathy. Much love. She's much love to you, Kathy. Much love to you. God bless. Good to see you, Mommy of six. Good to see you. Texas. Oh, well, Brat Brat. We had a Texas Brat Brat. I'm sure this is still her. Good evening, PG. Much love. God bless. All prayers and much love. Mods in the chat for summer. God bless. God bless. Hey, girl. You are number three. Number three. And let's see who is number four. Chris. Chris, number four. Hey there, PG. Hey, hey, hey to you. I don't know why I always start waving my hand when I see that, but hey, I do. I do. Pam, almost, girl. Almost. You were almost in the runnings. There you are. PG, we love you. Hey, girl, I love you guys too. You know it. You know it. Marlena, how you doing? Hey, PG in chat. Hey, hey, hey to you. Hey, hey, hey to you. Oh, wow. That is beautiful. We're still here, still loving you. Sweet summer. Your time is coming soon, baby girl. Amen. Amen. Absolutely. Canadian Cookie. Hello, hello, hello. Hello to you. Love the Purple Hearts. Love them Purple Hearts. Support for summer. God bless. Ah, there's the legendary Stephanie. Good to see you. Steph, how you doing? There's Juno, Nurse Cindy, M Spree. How you doing? Denise. Let me see. November Rain. How you doing tonight, sweetie? There's Nature Videos. How you doing? Blue Eye Dumpling. Good to see you all in here. Aw, salty and sweet. Yeah, that's a cute name. That is a cute name. German Shepherd Mom. God bless. Good to see you. I like to see the Cool Gamer. How you doing? Hello, hello, hello to you. I like to see those extraordinary names out here, right? People come up with some good ones. People come up with some good ones. Butterfly Kisses. How you doing? Oh, our bucket list has holes. Carrie, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Stephanie, I appreciate the support for summer. God bless. Aw, look at that. Sky says, hello, hello, hello. Hello to you. Hello to you. I'm getting to the bottom, y'all. I'm getting to the bottom. Just trying to see if there's Lily. How you doing, sweetie? How you doing? There's Sassy. Brenda, how you doing, sweetie? Beth Ann, good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Kim, how you doing? I think I say hi to Kim, right? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Hey, girl, if I missed you, I'm sorry. But I pulled you up now. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. And there's Lisa. And lip lock no more. Good to see you in here, sweetie. Good to see you. Much love. All right. I'm going to get it started tonight. We're going to get it started. And there's Sassy France. Pam, I think you're right. We might want to use earplugs. You might want to use earplugs. I think Sassy France trying to get Pam into some trouble. All right. I think I better be earphones, not earplugs. Right? Unless you're watching somebody else's channel. Hey, second to none. How you doing? Lip lock, your video was beautiful. Thank you for standing up for Justin. Amen. Amen. Justin is so loved in this community. Such a beautiful kindring spirit. Justin tries to get along with everyone, not someone, but everyone. God bless, right? God bless. He really does. And I don't know. They're just some mean humans in this world. Mean humans. Hey, just chilling. How you doing tonight? Yes. Thank you, lip lock. Amen. But yeah, he's doing better today, right? He's doing better today. Yeah, he is a sweetheart. Absolutely. November Rain. An absolute sweetheart. It's sad that any YouTubers, let it be on panel, let it be in the chats. Doesn't matter. Nobody deserves some of the hate and humans going sideways at them, right? The evilness out here. I see so many people, having issues out here with haters and evil humans coming at them. And, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I guess you have to be like that in order to understand it. And I thank God I'm not. And then when you give them a reflection of oneself, it's boo hoo hoo, right? It's boo hoo hoo hoo. They can't handle it, and getting an apology from these evil haters. Oh, let me tell you, that ain't happening. They are not. I mean, they feel like they have nothing to apologize for, right? But that's the mind frame of humans like that. That's the mind frame of evil humans is, they'll wish they would have apologized. And, at some point, they'll wish they learned how to apologize. But, I mean, if you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong, It's like, what can you say? What can you do? You can't take it back. The only thing you really can do is apologize and hope the person accepts it, And at that point, it's in their court, right? It's in their court. You did all you could do. And, you basically put it in their court, whether they want to forgive you or not, And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they do or they don't, God knows your heart, and he knows that you apologized, and he knows you did all you could do to try to mend whatever went down. And so regardless if they decide to forgive you or not, you got forgiveness because you did what was righteous. But Some of these people out here, they just don't know how to say, hey, I'm sorry, right? And I didn't know you. I didn't really know you, or, you know, or maybe I did know you and you just, I took things the wrong way, or I, overreacted when I shouldn't have, or, you know, whatever the situation was. You should just be upfront, honest, and apologize. Apologizing ain't that hard. Saying I love you ain't that hard. Being kind and caring and loving ain't that hard. None of that stuff's hard, you know. People make it hard, right? Humans make it hard, especially evil humans. Evil humans make it real hard because then you got problem. You got issue. You don't really want to care about them. You have to fight and struggle to care about them. Some people do make it hard. I don't know. But Justin, seems to be back on his feet and doing, moving forward with all of this, and praise God. I really truly believe that prayer works. I really do. Yeah, I know that you shouldn't try to understand people, but I'm always trying. I'm always trying to understand people because I always try to look at the best in humans. I'm always trying to seek the best in people, right? And that could be a big mistake sometimes, right? That could be a big mistake, because while you're trying to search for that ounce of goodness in them, you know, the rest of that, bad is trying to attack you, so I don't know, right? It's a real task sometimes, real task. And these cases are emotionally exhausting. Jealousy, hateful people here on YouTube, and regular um, lives issues too. You can only bounce all these hats on your head for so long. We all need a break. Um, you know, I I think I I agree. I agree sometimes. Sometimes I don't think it's trying to balance all the hats. I think sometimes one hat or another gets to be a little too heavy if you pay attention to it. If you pay attention to it. You know, what I'm saying is, um, every last one of you in this chat, all of you, whether you like it or you don't like it, every last one of you are, you know, you're all nurses. You're all, every last one of you we're all of us overall in the world. We are all nurses. We're all maids. We're all, you know, um, the butler, right? We are all, we wear all these different, you know, you're the operator, you're everything. I mean, if you answer the phone for everyone, you're an operator. If you are, taking care of everybody in your household is sick, including yourself, you're a nurse, right? If you have to cook and clean and everything, then you're a cook and you're a maid. You know, when you're cleaning every room of the house, you're a maid, right? I mean, you wear a ton of hats every single day. You wear all of them. And, you know, but if you start paying attention to who's not doing things and you're doing, and you know, when you start paying attention to who isn't doing stuff, that's when the hat becomes heavy, right? Because that's when you know, you feel that other people should, you're not happy with doing it all anymore. You're not happy wearing those hats. And that's when the hat gets heavy, right? As long as you don't care, as long as you are happy doing it and you don't care if anyone else does it or not, the hat is light. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't bother you at all. It's when the hat don't get heavy until you start taking note of who isn't doing anything. And that creates a problem. Right? That creates a problem. And I know this. I know this because, you know, PG lives it, right? I live it. I know what it's all about. But, you know, that's why I try not to pay attention to, you know, I try not to pay attention to who ain't doing something. I don't want my hat to get heavy. You know, I just, you know, as long as we're taking our happy-go-lucky little backsides and doing everything, the hats don't get heavy and we can wear them just fine. Right? Oh, crap. PG done had too many brownies tonight, right? Already too many brownies. Oh, God. Some of my hats are worn out. The Real Rocker Robin says some of her hats are worn out. Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, you're even, you know, you're even the sheriff in town, right? You're even the sheriff in town when you're keeping people from doing what they ain't supposed to be doing, as in, you know, when you're keeping people in line and keeping them from doing bad things, getting into trouble. You know, you're even the sheriff in town, right? So people, I mean, you're fixing your car. You're a mechanic, right? I'm going to tell you, you wear every hat and you don't even know it. You don't even know. Because why? You don't think about it. You don't think about it. It's when you start thinking, things start unraveling, you know. That's when things start unraveling. It's when you start thinking about it. You know, that's why PG tries to stay real busy. I try to stay busy. I don't want to think about it. Right? I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about a damn thing, to be honest. I don't want to think about nothing, you know? I'm like, I just stay busy. Staying busy don't let you think. It don't let you think. You know, all it does is let you just do things, constantly doing something. And, you know, I love it like that. That's the way, you know, you stay healthy. You stay healthy. Working and doing stuff all the time, you know, keeps you mentally and physically healthy. You know, I'm like, so somebody else ain't doing it. They ain't getting the exercise. They ain't doing it. So be it. They ain't getting the knowledge of how it's done. I mean, you know, it's all their loss, my gain. That's how I feel. Oh, they're lost my game. I think that's how people should feel. You feel a lot better if that's the way you thought. Hey, Brad, become a YouTube member. Amen. God bless. I appreciate that. Absolutely. I appreciate that, girl. Really. I love it. I like it. I want some more of it. I try so hard. I can't rise above it. Right? Don't get me singing tonight. Don't get me singing. Right? Everybody will need earplugs then. Get me singing. You're going to need some earplugs, baby. Let me tell you that right now. All right. Hey, Kim says, ha ha ha. Girl, you laughing with me or you laughing at me? That's what I want to know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know. I know the day. I know the day was on. Absolutely. I know it. No, I'm going to tell you. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say. For people with so much hatred. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say for people who, they want to talk about, other people's, they like to talk about other people's mental health, but you got to think about theirs, right? You got to think about theirs. What kind of humans actually support, people like, what kind of humans actually support people like Dawn, and Candace? And Grandis, right? What kind of humans support someone who has violated a 5-year-old child until it was around 8 or 9, and then came back and violated that same child again at the age of 12 to 13, right? And then along with the cousin and some other children. I mean, these are children. These 12, 13-year-old little girls, they're little girls, right? They're still jumping rope. They're still, playing with Barbie dolls, right? They're just little girls. I mean, 12, 13 is just like 8 and 9, right? Just like being 8 and 9. These children are, flat boards, right? They're flat in the front, they're flat in the back. They're just little children. How can you touch a child? I mean, a young girl doesn't even start to even resemble a woman till she's 15, 16, 17 years old. And she still doesn't look like a woman, right? She still doesn't look like a woman. She looks like exactly what she is. A child, a child in the process of becoming a woman. And how anyone can touch children, I don't know. I don't understand it. No woman in this world, should do a thing without the ring, right? If a guy ain't willing to hold your hand, treat you with the utmost respect, hold your hand until you're old enough to put a ring on it, right? Until you're old enough for him to actually put a ring on it, then you need to let that go. You need to let that go anyway, right? Because they're not looking for nothing. I mean, if they're looking for more than to hold your hand, they're not looking for anything but to destroy your life, right? To steal your youth away, to steal your youth away and destroy, you know, your youth. That's what they're seeking to do. You know, I don't care what anybody says. No young girl's the same. No young girl's the same after she's been violated, whether it's with consent or without consent. She's no longer the same, right? She's not the same. And, you know, and then it's even worse. It's even worse, you know, when she finds out that this guy wasn't after anything except what he got. And he's moved on. You know, now she's crushed, right? Now she's absolutely crushed. And that's where some real issues and real problems begin. Right? That's where some real issues and problems begin. And and they stowed away. You know, she didn't realize how much she really did lose. You know, she didn't just lose, you know, her her youth and everything, but she also lost her love, her kindness, her caring, her trust, right? I mean, it altered her life forever. It altered her life forever. Who she could have been, she's not going to be now. She's going to be packing a lot of hate and resentment, whether she knows it or she don't. She's going to be a whole different person. It, you know, it's going to alter. It alters her and it alters the rest of her life. That's why it's important to do things right, to do things the right way, you know, because eventually, you know, if someone doesn't wait on you, if they're not holding your hand and waiting to marry you, then that just means God's got someone better. God's got someone better in stored, right? That wasn't the person, that was not the person that God had for you. You need to wait for that person that God truly had waiting for you, you know, and he'll be there. You know, a lot of people are all, you know, a lot of people find that, a lot of people find that, right? A lot of people don't. A lot of people do say, you know, you ain't touching this until it, you know, you put a ring on it, you can touch it. Yeah, they lose a lot of people. They lose, you know, they lose a lot of people because that's all those people were looking for was a good time. But then they find that one, right, that they're with the rest of their life. They find that one that, you know, they were glad they waited. But there's a lot that don't wait. They end up with something, right? They end up with somebody. But, you know, a lot of times they're not happy because, see, when you've been with someone, when you have been with someone before you're with the main one, right? Before you're married, your marriage ain't as, a lot of times your marriage is not as stable as it could be because there's this one person you keep thinking about, this one person that keeps getting in the way. You know, that goes for men and women. That goes for men and women. You know, some guys can't get over an ex-girlfriend, some women can't get over an ex-boyfriend. And it causes a lot of issues, right? You're with someone, you're with someone, but not completely. You know, you're physically there, but not mentally. And that can cause a lot of issues. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But, you know, I ain't coming here to give everybody some marriage counseling, right? I ain't coming here to. I'm not a. I'm not giving people marriage counseling, but I do think. I do think that we should raise our children to say no, right? To say no, to substance, to alcohol, to to tobacco, to everything. Say no. Say no. Wait for the right person. If to hold your hand. And I mean, I've seen some people, especially teenagers, right? Especially teenagers, young adults. I've seen some people go off the rail. I have seen people go off the rail. I am not lying. I have seen some young girls, they get with this boyfriend, and they think that it's going to last forever, and then he splits up with her, or something happens that they just ain't together anymore. And I mean, you got these they're not old enough to handle. They weren't really old enough, mature enough to handle what was going on, right? And now what you got is a real, I mean, a real problem. You got a real issue right there. And, some of them go off the rail and try to do some really off the wall stuff, because they weren't mentally stable enough to handle, all the stuff they got themselves into. And that's why I'm saying it's best not to get into it, right? It's best not to get into it. When you're young, you should enjoy being young. Take time. I mean, what I'm saying is, once you get married, once you get with someone and you get married, you're going to be with that person longer than you was with your mommy and daddy, right? Longer than you was in college, longer than like, you're going to be with that person. Trust me, you have plenty of time to wait, right? Plenty of time to wait, because you're going to be with somebody. You're going to be tired of being with somebody. You're going to be with somebody so long. You're with your parents like what? Maybe 18, 20 years, right? If you are, in college or something, you might be with your parents an extra couple years. So that puts you with your parents until you're like 21, 22. You get married to somebody, you're with that person like 40, 50, 60 years. Oh my gosh. I mean, they done wore you out and you done wore them out, right? I mean, wow, that's like a test of time right there. That's like a test of time. They ain't no shoes. There's no clothes. No, I don't think anything. I can't think of one thing that might last as long as a marriage. So why are you in a hurry to jump into it? I don't know. Beyond me. I have no idea. My first husband had an expiration date. Yeah, I, girl, you gonna get me in trouble. I shouldn't even be laughing about that. I shouldn't even be laughing about that. Right? I hope you divorced him. That's all I got to say. I hope that was divorce, because if it wasn't, girl, me and you both in trouble, right? I don't know. I'm getting in trouble. I'm getting in trouble hanging out with people in chat. PG can't be doing this. Yeah, I can't be getting in trouble like this. No, 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 no. Listen, um, I wanted to talk. I want to talk about Fred. I want to talk about Fred. I want to talk about Andy. I want to talk about which one of them. Which one of them? I don't think neither one's telling the truth, to be honest. I mean, no disrespect. No disrespect to Ziggy. I hope she don't take it. I hope she don't take it personal. But I just, I just think, I don't think either one's telling the truth, if you ask me, right? The link ain't pinned to the top tonight. The pin ain't pinned to the top. I don't know, honey. I can send one out though. Here you go. There you go. There's the link. If anyone wants to take the link, they're always welcome. It's always open panel up here. Always open panel. Oh, okay. Okay, girl. I'm glad to hear that. We probably ain't in as much trouble. We ain't in as much trouble as if something else would have happened. Right? I don't even know. I can't help it. That did seem, you said it. It was funny. I'm not going to lie. That was funny. The first marriage lasts 14 years. Divorce because of abuse. My second marriage will be 27 years this year. There you go, Rose. There you go. God had somebody for you there. Hey, Sassy Frats, I'm bringing you up, girl.
Hey, I wasn't trying to get Pam in trouble. We were talking about Matthew's chat, and she said that you needed earplugs to keep Matthew from talking so loud.
Oh.
He was on his panel earlier.
Oh, I heard that. I heard that, girl. I was taking it personal. Right?
No. I wasn't trying to get her in trouble. We'd been talking about the earplugs over at Matthew's channel.
I was like, Pam, wait till I talk to you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The bad ones give a gentleman a bad name. Come on, Ronald. Ronald's a trip. He cracks me up.
Have you heard anything about the SD card? Because I was watching Michelle After Dark the other day, and she was talking about how Fred Hill supposedly had an SD card, and I couldn't figure out why the SD card wasn't turned over to TBI.
I don't know. That is a question. My marriage last 29 years was very abusive. I never got married again. Hey, girl, I don't blame you. That happens. That happens to a lot of beautiful human beings. One bad apple ruins it for everyone in the future. It's sad. It's sad, but it happens, right? It happens. I was married 37 years. He left. I met a great guy. 10 years with him. Lost him to. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm done. Nothing worth dating in today's world. Amen. Hey, I can almost agree with that. I mean, I'm dating someone right now, and we have our ups and we have our downs, right? We have our ups and our downs. I'm just not, I'm not ready to fully commit to them ups and downs right now, right? I got enough shit going on in my life. I ain't just not ready for it, you know. And if they decide not to wait, hey, um, I have no problem, telling him like it is, you know. Uh, I see, I see, put it this way. There's always somebody else out there, right? There's always somebody else out there. I mean, I don't cry over spilt milk. That's, you know, I clean it up and pour another glass, right? I thank God that He gives me the strength to clean up what I spilt. And I thank Him that there's still more left in the jug, right? To pour out. And that's just the way it is. Um, you know, I ain't got time for all that. Just ain't got it, you know. And I, you know, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard getting over someone that you truly loved to begin with, right? When they're gone, when they're gone away, it's hard. It's hard getting over them. So, you know, I have to deal with that as well. You know, so like I said, they ain't no relationship going to ever be perfect. No relationship's going to ever be perfect. That's why they say for better or for worse, right? I don't want to say for better or for worse. I want to say for the better, and that's it. You know, seems like I've already had the worst of everything, right? We've already had. I think everybody's had the worst of everything. We just want to say for the better, please. That's it. Anyhow, Ziggy went down to Tennessee and staying with I guess a mod of hers named Kathy, and Fred lives with Kathy as well. And Fred is saying that it's a positive that Andy was on Ben Hill Road, right? That Andy was on Ben Hill Road, and this is a positive. He was on Ben Hill Road around 2:30, 3 o'clock that day. Fred said he saw him. Also saw a truck, right? There was a truck that came in behind Andy and followed Andy back out, right? There was some couple people in this blue truck. The windows were so tinted you really couldn't see. And they met up with Andy on Ben Hill Road, June 15, 2021. So I heard that he lives with this Kathy lady, staying with this Kathy lady. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This is just what I'm hearing. I thought he was in rehab too. Mama 6. But I'm hearing that he's staying at this. Oh, he does not live with Kathy. He lives at the rehab facility. Okay, my bad. That's my bad. You know, that's PG's bad. Okay, so I got it wrong. Well, I didn't exactly get it wrong. That's what I was told. So, you know, but when you're hearing it through the grapevine, you don't know. Oh, well, that's great. That's great that he's still in rehab. Absolutely. Satsy Frats, I'm bringing you back up. You want to close your camera? Okay.
I booted myself off the panel.
Yeah, I've seen that, girl. Sometimes I don't see you because you're below all the content. and I'm just not able to see. Um, so I try to look every so often to see if there is anybody there. Um, yeah, it's a halfway house that he lives at, but he was visiting. He was visiting with Kathy. Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, she was talking to Fred, and this is what Fred was saying, right? Now, I don't know. I don't know if Andy was there or not. But Jody Sue did say something. Jody Sue did say something that, I'm going to play it for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking like the rest of us. Even Voldemort was looking. I mean, the whole freaking community was looking immediately.
Okay, she said, yes. Yes, he was looking. The whole freaking community was looking, even Baltimore. Now, at this time, she was calling Andy Baltimore, right? Because she was portraying to be, the victim of brutal human being, um, in order to get support by the YouTube community, to help her move and get her a new trailer and do all the things that that she needed to get off the hill because she wasn't allowed to stay there once Andy took off with his new girlfriend. She wasn't able to stay there. So she went and put a restraining order against him, right? For her and her daughter. Her son said no, he wasn't going to do it because it wasn't truth. That, Andy wasn't doing anything. He was just gone. And, he was just gone. He wasn't around there to be doing anything. And, and the son didn't want to go along with, making his dad look bad in the eyes of everyone out here, because his mom wanted support to be able to, the money factor in order to get people to feel sorry. But she had to show proof, and that's why the restraining order was gotten, was so she would have something to show people, to suck them in, and basically take them to the cleaners to to get her a new place and all the things that they did. So that's what her involvement in all of this really was about. But she says that even Baltimore was looking, right? Even Baltimore was looking for Summer, but she's going to go on to say something real incriminating here.
Immediately, and in there quite a while before law enforcement even got in there. I mean, we basically had our property searched. We had cameras coming together. We had everything trying to get it ready for as they were first rolling in. I mean, this was not like some, oh, well, we're running around the field thing. I mean, we know how to do what we need to do when something or someone is missing, from cow, horse, person, it doesn't matter. And so the thing is that, I mean, I watched, and our neighbors, I mean, you just have to understand how this community is. It may not work like some suburbia. And you in there, you may not like your neighbor, but you watch out for them, and you do right by these kids, and you keep an eye on each other. And, um, everybody come out, and it was an immediate effort to find her. This was not, and Dawn and everybody, I mean, we were all looking, and he was, and obviously he had to be questioning, all the things that happened, but, he was definitely looking for Summer. So, and that's the thing, my activity with Dawn that day was, limit, like, until later that night, and I don't really want to touch on that, but I mean, there's not much I can say about it because I seen him first come to the road. I seen him later on. After that, I don't really comment. just like you don't see me really talking about, Candace either. I mean, I just, because what people are looking for, and that's not my job. But, and a lot of times, what you're hearing, it's like they're like, well, you're trying to protect Candace. What you're saying is all kinds of things. But I think right now I have a hard time with a lot of what the internet's saying because my Baltimore was looking. I mean, the whole freaking community was looking immediately and in there quite a while before law enforcement even got in there.
Now, there you go. Let me play it again for you.
Yeah, I mean, he was looking like the rest of us. Even Baltimore was looking. I mean, the whole freaking community was looking immediately and in there quite a while before law enforcement even got in there.
Quite a while before even law enforcement got in there. No, Jody Sue, if this is true, then Andy wasn't at work. Andy was not at work because when Donald got there, he went down to the bottom of the property where the boys were and the neighbor. Donald didn't immediately start working and looking for Summer. Absolutely not. He didn't immediately start doing anything. He immediately pulled in down by the bottom of the property and sat there in that Subaru, right? He sat there in that Subaru trying to pull his shit together because he knew that law enforcement was already on top of the hill. He could see that law enforcement's already up there. There was already officers there when Don supposedly arrived the first time. So, Jody Sue, if you guys were looking quite a while before law enforcement even got there, then that means Andy and Donald had to have left. They had to have been there and left and came back a second time because Andy came in after Donald. Andy came in after Donald, not before Donald, after Donald. And law enforcement was already there. So, you ain't making no sense. You're not making any sense whatsoever by saying that you guys were all looking quite a while before law enforcement even got there. No, absolutely not. Your story is not adding up. Just like your scream in the timeline didn't add up. That's why Candace called you and said, hey, what the hell? You have to move that screen to 5, right? To 5:30, 5:43, 47. You can't have that scream at 4:30, 4:42, 4:47. You can't have it there because Summer wasn't missing yet with everything I've been saying. We would have still been planting flowers. You need to move that shit. What was you thinking? Right? What was you thinking? But why was you trying to help her? Why was you trying to help her? Why was you making up a scream to try to help Candace? What was the reasoning for that? What was the reasoning for making up that lie? It had to be a lie or Candace wouldn't have felt she could call you and ask you to move it to another time frame to more fit the narrative of what they was trying to put out here for people to believe. So, with that being said, your scream had to be a lie. And if Don in Baltimore was searching for Summer quite a while before law enforcement even arrived, and then they obviously left and came back as if they were coming back for a first time. That needs to be reported to TBI, to FBI, right? That needs to be reported because law enforcement was already there. Absolutely. Even Don admitted that law enforcement was up on the hill. He seen them. And when he went up there, he went right past two officers standing up there by a shed. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So Fred could be telling the truth. Fred could very well be telling the truth. You know, I think Fred lies. And I think Andy lies. And I know Jody Sue lies. And, you know, and I know Candace Donald and Grandis lie for sure. You know, absolutely. You know, that isn't in my opinion. That is facts. These people lie. But no way. No way, folks.
PG, wait a minute. Wasn't Fred hauling that vehicle off at 3 o'clock?
No. He was not hauling a vehicle away at 3 o'clock. He was hauling
Or was
he was hauling that vehicle away. It was after 3. They was pulling out after 3 o'clock. Somewhere probably about 3:15, around 3:15, 3:15, 3:20, somewhere around there, because they was going to be late getting to the scrapyard. They only had, they were really pushing it to try to get to the scrapyard. And so, to scrap that particular vehicle. And to my understandings, Fred is saying he didn't make it. He didn't make it to the scrapyard, that, they were closed. So he didn't make it there. I don't know. And then you got his old lady. You got his old lady saying that, you got his old lady saying that they saw Candace on their way out, and they also did get to the scrapyard. So, I don't know. Let's listen to her. Laura, the day that Summer came up missing, was you at home or was you with Fred?
I was with Fred. We was hauling cars.
You were hauling cars that day? And
Yep.
so Chad was at your property?
He come in while we was going to the crusher, and
he said,
he seen Candace at the end of the driveway.
and
He
what
said
time-
that we started up a hill, and she turned around and looked at him and said, "Do you know if they're home?" And he said, "Well, their truck's not there." And said she turned around, walked back down there, and got in her truck. Didn't even knock on the door, nothing.
Wow. Y'all feel like the
Oh, so and what time? Now, Chad did come into Ben Hill Road. He supposedly met up with Candace, who was at that time searching for Summer. So that would have been between 4. That would have been between 4 and 5 o'clock. Between 4 and 5 o'clock. So Summer wouldn't have been missing yet. She would not have been missing yet, right? Summer would not have been missing yet because they didn't get home till around 3. Well, we thought it was around 3:15, but Laura says they seen Candace and Don, and they didn't leave until after 3 o'clock. So Candace didn't even pull into her driveway, right, on June the 15th till around 3:30, or a little after 3:30. So the thing is they pull in, even if it's 3:30, and they unload groceries for two for the trailer and their house. Now we're going on, now we're heading to almost 4 o'clock. And by the time they put the groceries away and everything, it was around 4 o'clock. And now they're going to get something to eat, right? They're going to get something to eat. Grandma hasn't even took her nap yet. Grandma hasn't even took her nap at this time yet. So Grandma's laying down for a nap around 4, right? And Candace and them are getting something to eat, supposedly doing some laundry. They haven't even planted flowers. So even if Grandma took a power nap, say 30 minutes, got up at 4:30, came out, Candace walked over and talked to her. Didn't ask nobody to watch Summer when she went over there to talk to Grandma. But she comes back and she gets Summer to come out. And this would have been around the 4:30 mark, right? This would have been around the 4:30 mark if Granny took a power nap. So now they're planting flowers and they're planting flowers, and then they're going to wash their hands, and they're going to get a piece of candy, and Candace still hasn't walked something. It would be after 5 o'clock. It would be after 5 o'clock, right? With all of this going on. It's after 5 o'clock, you guys. The scream already happened while they were outside. And Candace is already down at Fred's looking for Summer. And, there's no way you could be putting Summer into a house and be down at Fred's looking for her at the same time. That shit don't work like that. That does not work like that. Right? And Fred says he didn't make it to the crusher. He says he didn't make it to the crusher that day. That they were already closed, and so they didn't get that particular vehicle crushed. But Laura, on the other hand, is saying, yeah, we went there, we got it done, we got paid, and we went to a grocery store. Hold on, listen to her. What time was that?
I think he said it was about 3:30 or 4, probably about 4:30, something like that.
Did Chad see if there was anybody else in the car with her? Did Chad see if there was anyone else in that car with her? Did he mention that she had any passengers? Or
he said they wasn't.
He said nobody was in the vehicle but her?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what he told the law enforcement.
That nobody was in the vehicle with her when she came down there but her.
Just her.
And
She said she was looking for her little girl. And Chad said that if for somebody that was looking for her little girl, she didn't give it much effort because she didn't even walk up on the hill and knock on the door or nothing.
She shows up down there. She shows up down there. Hold on.
Okay.
She shows up down there at 3:30, 4 o'clock, around, between 3:30 around 4 o'clock
right.
at the house, telling Chad that she's looking for Summer.
And this is over 2 hours before she calls 911, right? At 6
Wow. Yeah, she did. And she's all by herself in the vehicle.
See, that don't add up.
No, this ain't adding up at all.
Candace was seen by
Did Chad say if she was in the truck or in the Subaru?
I think she was in the truck.
She was in Don's white truck?
No, she was in, I think it was Grandis's truck.
In Grandis's truck, not the Suburban, not the green Suburban.
No.
She was driving Grandis's vehicle.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Can you just lay out what Chad said, like what he had told?
That she was when he came in the holler, pulled up, that she was parked at the bottom of the hill, and that she was. I think he said she was hollering for Summer. And he turned around, looked at him, and hollered at him and asked him if he knowed if we was home. And he just kind of looked at her like, well, duh, the truck's not here. You know?
Right. Exactly.
And, I mean, we was all pretty rude to him. I'm not going to lie. Because they wasn't very stand-up people.
Exactly. And then he follows her because you guys weren't home. He follows her out of the holler.
Out of the holler.
And she was actually there looking for Summer at that time. And what time? And you said Fred and you had to get somewhere before 4 o'clock?
Well, yeah, we had to be at the scrapyard for 4 o'clock to haul car off.
And what time did you guys actually leave?
Shoot, we was pushing it. It was about 3 or 3:15 because everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Okay, so basically you guys were going out of the holler when Candace and Grandis and Summer would have been coming in to go home. So
Seemed
now
like we passed them on Long Star.
on Long Star, that's a where how far, like how many minutes is that before she would have gotten to her home?
About 8 minutes, 10 minutes.
Okay.
If that.
So that would have put Candace in her driveway, not at 3:15, but at around 3:30. There's no way. And this guy comes in between 4 and 5 o'clock and he stumbles upon Candace looking for Summer already. Well, Jody Sue said that they were all looking for Summer quite a while before law enforcement came. So, and even Baltimore. So if Candace is already out there between 4 and 5 o'clock looking for Summer, then that would place Andy, Baltimore, Jody Sue, and Donald in the area looking for Summer as well. So, you know, I can fully understand. I can fully understand why Don and Candace and Grandis cannot be cleared. I fully understand because it sounds to me like, you know, and the other surrounding this surrounding community is also. Ronnie Lawson said they're all suspects, right? They're all suspects. So, and it seems like none of them's telling the truth. It seems like maybe they was all there. You know, maybe Fred is telling the truth. Maybe Andy was in there. And maybe even, you know, Donald was not at work. They said he was missing. So it's a possibility why he wasn't cleared. Right? He wasn't cleared. Maybe he was. Maybe he was there in the vicinity. As well. I don't know. Right? I don't know who's telling the truth and who isn't. I would say that I don't think Donald was in that. He could have been if someone else had him there. Because if he left his phone at work, parked his Subaru somewhere else, he could have been in that community. Right? He could have been in that community or his cell phone would have been in his truck. In the Subaru, wherever he parked it, over in Jonesboro. If someone picked him up, he could have been anywhere, right? He could have been anywhere. And, you know, I think that's why he drove the Subaru. I think he drove it because he knew it had Starlink. He's not stupid enough to take his phone with him. And he knows the Subaru, if someone saw his white truck parked somewhere for a long period of time, they would have spotted it and told on him, right? But most people didn't know he had that Subaru. So that Subaru parked somewhere isn't going to draw no attention. It wouldn't draw attention. And if someone picked Donald up and took him back into the Ben Hill community, you know, and back over to his work, he, you know, he could have been in there. Very possible. And Fred said the truck was so dark tinted that you couldn't see who was inside of it that followed Andy in there. So that dark truck could have had Don Wells in it, right? It could have had Don Wells in it. I don't know. I don't know. Very possible. Very possible. And Jody Sue did say, you heard her, that Baltimore and Donald, her and, you know, they were all looking way before law enforcement got there. So I don't know. I don't know, right? I have no idea. The thing what I truly believe is whatever happened to Summer was pre-planned, premeditated, carried out June 15th, 2021. I truly believe that. I truly believe that because of Don Wells' actions, right? It's all because of his actions. His actions kind of told the story that it was pre-planned and everything. Him firing Dudley to blame it on, him driving the Subaru for a couple of days, something he didn't ever do before, right? Changing up vehicles, using Starlink as an alibi. You know, it just, he was, you know, you could tell he was protecting his ass. You could tell that, you know, he was, you know, he was setting his coworker up to take the downfall. He also, you know, kept the money to try to act like what happened wasn't about money. He had actually Dudley's money in the bank, you know, which wasn't even his. He had Dudley's share money in that bank. It wasn't his at all. But he was going to claim it. So, you know, and why would you need to claim another man's money if you're not guilty? Why would you care how much you had in the bank if you're not guilty? You know, I don't care if I had $1 or $1 million in the bank, right? It wouldn't matter if I had 1 or 1 million in a bank. If I'm not guilty, I don't care. What I'm saying is, if I was at work, if I was at work and I owed my coworker money, right? As soon as the money came through, I owed a coworker money because they did half of the job. They're supposed to get part of the money. Then, you know, I would give that coworker his money or her money, and only money would be left in that account would be my own. And I wouldn't care because, you know what? I have nothing to hide. You know, nothing whatsoever to hide. But, you know, if you go firing your coworker the day before to blame it on, and you keep your coworker's money so that, you know, you can try to portray to law enforcement and other people that, you know, you don't need any, then it shows me you got all to hide. You got all to hide. That just, you know, that's just got fucking guilt wrote all over it, right? That's got guilt wrote all over it. And the sad thing is, you know, these people, Don has to be evil as hell. He has to be super evil, or he wouldn't have, you know, tried to put an innocent man in prison. This co-worker did nothing. It's lucky that this co-worker's vehicle, was broken down, and he wasn't able to go nowhere. He wasn't able to leave his premises. He wasn't able to be anywhere else. But they're trying to fix it. And if it wasn't for that, Dudley may have been facing some charges. It may not have been good for him. But I don't think God was going to let Don Wells get away with trying to get some innocent human prosecuted for something they did not do. So Dudley's car wouldn't run, and he had to be home all day where people could see him so he could be protected. That's a miracle. That's a miracle for him. I bet he looks up a lot of times and says, thank you. Thank you. I mean, if you didn't ever believe in God before, you would at that point. Right? You would at that point. So, and I have to say that I truly believe that Jody Sue possibly has a hand in all of this, because why would she make up a scream? Why would she make up a scream that didn't fit the timeline, and then Candace told her she needed to move it once Don and Candace figured out it wasn't fitting the timeline, right? They messed up. They messed up big time. It was not fitting the timeline. So why would, what I'm saying is, you got nothing to do with anything. Why are you making up a lie to protect someone? Why are you trying to help them by saying you heard something? Indeed, you didn't. You did not hear. Why would you do that? If you don't got a dog in the race, why would you do that? I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. Absolutely not. No way. No way. I don't care. I don't care if, I don't care if it's, look, I have a lot of friends, and I have friends that's been coming to cookouts for quite a long time. Like every summer, into the fall, sometimes even winter barbecues, right? Hooping and hollering, the Super Bowl game. But here's the thing. If something happened to their child, I'm not going to say I heard anything to help them out. I am not going to lie and say that I heard something I didn't. Right? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to the law. If I did not see or hear it, I'm not going to say I did. Absolutely not. And by God, if I did see or hear something, I'm going to tell it. I don't care. I don't care who gets in trouble. I'm going to tell. Right? I'm going to tell. Law enforcement is more than welcome to all the surveillance around my home. Every lick of it. I would actually sign to let them go through everything. Whatever they need to help. Absolutely. I'm not going to be deleting, erasing. There's not going to be cameras working one day and not on that day. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm not unplugging nothing for something evil to go down. I'm not going to lie and say I heard things that indeed I did not hear. Right? I'm going to tell you, there's got to be a special place for people who do evil things to children. And I'm just saying, I'm not ending up there for no one. Right? I'm not ending up there for no one. Mm-mm. Hell to the no. That's all I'm trying to say. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do you think is telling the truth? I don't think none of them's telling the truth, to be honest. I don't think a damn one of them is telling the truth at all, to be perfectly honest. What do you think? Yeah, none of them. None of them. None of them. None of them. Exactly. Um, that's what I'm saying. Who knows? We know. We know. We know. Sharon, I respect what you think. I respect that. We agree to disagree here. Um, all the time. Hug it out at the end of the night and move on. But I have to agree. I have to agree with. I think they're all lying. To be honest, every one of them. And someone asked, "Who knows?" Well, we know. We know because their stories have changed up. We know. I mean, you can't. The truth don't ever change, right? The truth does not ever change. There you go. The truth does not ever change. Okay? Like this morning, for instance, PG, what did you have for breakfast? Nothing. Nothing. I had nothing for breakfast this morning. I did not get nothing to lunch, right? I had nothing. Now, ask me that tomorrow, and I'll tell you the same thing. Nothing. I didn't get anything till lunch. Why? Because it's the truth. Because it's the truth. Now, I could have said, oh, I had, bacon, eggs, waffles, all these things. And I guarantee you, if you ask me tomorrow or next week, I wouldn't know. Because I'll tell you why. It wouldn't have been the truth. Right? I might have told you part of it, but I couldn't have told you all of it because your mind can't remember it all. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just how it works. It's just how it works. And these people have just changed things up too many times. And that's how we know they're liars, right? We know they're freaking liars because they had a scripted story and they couldn't even keep to it. They had a script. Oh, well, we got home, we packed the groceries in, and then we put them away and we got something to eat, did some laundry, and then I seen my mom outside and I went over there and she wanted to plant flowers and I said, well, the boys won't, but I know someone that will. And I went and got Summer and we came out and we planted, we washed our hands, we went in, Grandma gave Summer a piece of candy. She wanted to go play with the boys. So I walked her all the way back over to the door, watched her go in, watched her go all the way over where the boys are, right? They had a scripted dance. And then I fixed my mom's knee brace. Within 2 minutes, went in the house. Where's Summer? Where's Summer? She's gone. Just gone. Can't find her. Right? They had a scripted ass story that they wanted to tell. They had a scripted ass story. And before they even looked for her, before they even really looked for this child, what was we hearing? What was we hearing? Huh? Oh, I'll tell you what we was hearing. Ain't no problem for me. We was hearing abduction, abduction. Somebody took her. I knew somebody had took her. Right? She's just gone. Oh, when we sent the boys over the bank, I was just standing up there hoping that they wouldn't get abducted too. Right? Wasn't that what we was hearing, everybody? I know that's what my ears heard. Right? Well, you just sent the boys over the bank. You just sent the boys over the bank hoping. You feel the child is abducted. Well, you don't even feel, you know. Grandma, you know that she's already been abducted. But you still send the boys over the bank to look for her. Candace says she knows she was abducted. Somebody came up here on this property and they stole my daughter, but you'll send your boys out to possibly get stolen too. Right? Grandma send them on over the hill there to possibly get took too. Because see, they already know. They don't think, they don't feel. They already know she was abducted. And then Don went, I knew immediately. She's abducted. You know, he didn't think, he didn't feel, he knew. Wandering off was not even a thought for these people. She was lost or hiding wasn't even a thought for these people. Right? It wasn't a thought that anything else could have happened. No, that's bullshit. Because when you don't know, everything's a thought. When you have no ideal, everything's a thought. Everything's a thought. Wandering off's a thought. Hiding somewhere is a thought. Possibly got took is a thought. But you're praying for the first two. You're praying that they wandered off and going to be found, or they're hiding and you're going to find them. See, it's going to be a thought because you're so scared. That's what you want. That's what you want to have happened. You want them to be hiding so you can find them. You want them, right? You want them to wander off so you can find them. You're not even thinking about abduction. No way. You're not even thinking about it. I'm bringing you up, Pam. I'm thinking about abduction. Hey, Pam, you gotta turn off the TV. Okay.
Remember when Don said that he knew when they were out there searching that they were going through all the woods and everything?
Right.
And he knew that she wasn't out there, that they were wasting their time.
Absolutely.
And he supposedly hated it, that they were out there in them bushes and trees and terrarium and everything for no reason.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now,
right here.
And when Don showed up, now there was a video, I forget who did it, but there was a video of Don, somebody followed, maybe Don did a reenactment of the road where he went, and it sounded like two people in that car. Remember that video?
Yes, I do.
There was two people in that car that could have been Andy and him. But that would have mean they would have had to been there earlier.
Well, what you don't understand is at that time he said we. He didn't say on. He said we.
He said we, and then when he pulled in, he said I.
Right. He said we.
He said we, and then when he pulled in, he said I, because he caught himself saying we.
Oh, yeah.
But you could hear somebody in the other seat, though.
Right. Right.
So
I remember that.
It wasn't, and this was like way back. I mean, and I think it was John Q or Don Wells that put the video out.
I think
That-
Donald did. Donald did that video.
that
Yeah, that
going down that
reenactment.
road.
Right.
Because he also said that Beach Creek was the only road that didn't have cameras. Now, if you listen to Fred, he said the only cameras, and it was on Ziggy's, he said the only cameras was at the end of Ben Hill. Right there across the way, there was like cameras there, but that was it.
Right.
John said there was no cameras at the end of Beach Creek. Right?
That's what he said. That's what he said. Hey, I was just giving you the floor, girl. I was giving you the floor.
And on the other hand, Fred, or I taught, no, I'm not even going to go there. But I know that around, and I got receipts, you know I do. I talked to someone, and the thing with the car being hauled off, if they had to be there, but remember, if somebody hauls a car off of your property, aren't you going to be there when it's hauled off?
And that car was hauled off a few days before, and Donald was there.
But this person said they hauled it off on the 15th.
That is not true.
Well, okay, the person that I got it from,
They was hauling a vehicle off to the crusher, but it wasn't off of 110 Ben Hill Road. Don did he had given Fred a vehicle that Fred had removed a few days prior to Summer's disappearance. Don was there when it was removed.
okay, and why was it, okay, and let's go here. Why was it that Summer, the car being hauled off, okay, but Candace said she was on the phone with Dawn the whole time all the way home. And then Jody Sue says, or Jody Sue and Dawn say that Jody Sue said she was waiting at the end of the drive for Andy to get home. And then you got to behind each other or whatever. They're right there to each other coming in, him and Dawn. But Candace said she was on the phone with Dawn the whole time. Then if we hear it, the dispatch call, he said that as for the dispatch call says that Candace took a walk.
No,
or whatever.
I personally asked Donald about the car that Fred had took off his property. And Don Wells told me personally that vehicle was taken off his property by Fred prior to Summer coming up missing, a few days prior to it, and that he was home and he did watch Fred take and remove the vehicle. Donald was there. So that's how I know. I think they're getting confused with Don saying he gave Fred a vehicle on his lot, on his land, and then, Fred towing a vehicle that day to get it crushed. It's two different vehicles, two different times. The one that came off of Domwell's land was prior, a few days prior to all of this. And Dom was there when Fred took it. The one that Fred was taken to get crushed was a different vehicle off of his own property that he was hauling off that day to be crushed. So it was two different occasions, two totally different incidents. But I think somebody kind of got them confused and merged into one, and that happens. That happens all the time. It's just a misunderstanding.
Well, I talked to Laura about it. I'm
Right.
just gonna say where I got it. I mean, hate me, beat me, whatever.
You're telling
freaked
me
out.
you're telling me Laura told you that they went up on 110 Ben Hill that day and removed a vehicle.
Yes,
I don't know, but I can.
this was way back in the. It was way back in the beginning when the vehicle got brought up.
Do
I
you
reached
have?
out to her and I asked her,
Do you?
and that's what she said. And she said that they were late getting. It was running thin on time. That it was.
Okay.
they
Okay.
were-
Well, you know what? I think you misunderstood, but I can reach out and talk to Laura personally.
Well, reach out
Because okay, but here's the thing. They passed Candace on the way home. Okay, as they were heading to the crusher, Candace Grandis and Summer was passing them. They seen them going. They had seen them heading to Ben Hill
Yeah, she
as
said
they were
that.
leaving. Okay, so say this. Even if they did pick a car up, June 15th, 2021, off of 110 Ben Hill Road, nobody would have been there but the boys. No one was home but the boys. Summer and Grandis and Candace had not even returned back home when Fred left, was on his way, already left Ben Hill Road, was on his way to the crusher. Summer had not even returned back there yet. So it wouldn't have made a hill of beans if he did pick up a vehicle from there that day. It would have made a hill of beans. Summer wouldn't have been there. She'd have still been with Grandis and Candace heading that way to be home. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not saying, I'm just saying how it all gets confused. And I'm not trying to confuse it at all.
And
I got no, I don't. When I talk to somebody, I don't record messages. I don't know how. When I talk to somebody, I may have it in a message.
And when you take a vehicle to the crusher, to be crushed, they don't crush it right there anyway. They weigh it, or well, sometimes they don't.
Okay, the
Sometimes
day
okay,
could be messed up.
I'm talking about a whole different ball game. When you take a vehicle to the crusher, they buy it's like when you sell, you have a vehicle that ain't running, right? They come pick it up, give you a certain amount of money for it, then they take it to a place like that and they get a certain amount of money for it. Well, what happens is they don't crush all them cars the same day. They buy them, but they don't crush them. And I'm sure law enforcement, as soon as they found out that Fred had hauled out of there with a vehicle to be crushed, they notified that particular place and said, hey,
Yeah, because
you ain't to be crushing this vehicle. And they, and I'm sure that TBI, law enforcement, the feds, somebody went down there and they went over that vehicle with a fine tooth comb.
yeah, because you would have
Right.
to check them in and all of that. And most people, when you buy old cars like that, if a certain part will work, they'll sell it off. They'll just clean it
Right.
out,
Right.
like the alternator or,
Well, right.
just take different stuff off of it.
Sometimes they piece them out. Right. It's a junkyard. Right. It's a junkyard.
Exactly.
So, it doesn't, trust me, whatever vehicle he took there, any vehicles he had taken there that day, law enforcement looked over everything, anything.
I'm not saying they didn't. They probably, and the most that they take off of a car, and I can be wrong. Don't take my word for it.
Right.
Most they take off a car, man, everybody wants them Cadillac converters. I mean, everybody wants that. It seemed to be but I mean, I've done work on a car, so that's how I know Cadillac converter. But
my thing, what was Chad Arnold doing at Fred's when Fred is not home? If Chad was walking in the area of Ben Hill, he would have been someone. He would have seen someone. The scream he would have heard if there was one. For one, he wasn't walking. He was driving. And Chad Arnold was driving a vehicle himself, which he followed Candace out of there in. The thing is Chad, people come to my house all the time when I'm not here. Right? I've been to other people's houses. I just stopped by, right? Stop by with some coffee, maybe some cinnamon rolls or something, want to go by you just figure they're home. You just figure that they're home. You show up, they're not, right? They're not. You leave a little sticky note on the door, came by, hope everything's going good, I'll stop back another time, call me. So that's not unusual. That's really not unusual. Oh, you didn't know he was driving. Yeah, it's not unusual for people to stop by people's homes. You don't know some kid's going to come up missing in the area, right? You don't have no idea of that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you did what, a lot of people, and it's what he got put in jail for, was the drugs. I mean, any person could come up there for anything. And that seems what around there was what a lot of people wanted, was the drugs that was around there. I mean,
right. Absolutely.
I mean,
120 acres. You live in a gated community. That, it's nice. It's nice living in a gated community because yes, you don't get in. Well, I mean, if someone really wants in, they'll get in regardless. I mean, you can't stop someone really wanting in a place, but gated communities are nice. They are nice, but they usually have ways to come in over the surrounding gate. There's always some way to get in.
Well, my take on my house. I've got, I mean, and it's just me. My house is locked up like Fort Knox.
My wrench at my house, call before you come. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people, a lot of people want you to call before you come. It seems to be a rule for them. Um, and I respect that. I mean, I respect that. I don't ask people to call before they come to my house. Um, most, I figure if they're coming to my house, they know me, right? They know
Well,
me. I know them, so I'm not going to worry about it.
I look at it and I've had a lot of problems. Okay, that's why my house is, I've got cameras and I've got solar lights that'll pop up. My cameras will go to the road. If you even go down the road or pull up in my driveway, I
Right?
can sit on my bed and know you're out there in my driveway.
Everyone. It's like
I mean,
everyone. It's like almost, well, I'm not saying everyone. Almost everyone in our community have camera systems. Almost everyone has invested in the camera systems. Not just for our own safety, but for the safety of all of our children. That's why, and our neighbors, we, all of us invest in that. We want to keep our neighborhood safe, right? We even have signs that says, please slow down, children at play. Respect, show some respect. You come flying through our community, and I'm going to tell you, somebody's going to be on the back of you in no time, letting you know you need to get out of the community. Because we know you don't live there if you're not going slow and watching out for the children and other people's vehicles and so forth and so on. Then you're not welcomed in the community if you're going to act like that.
And like somebody just said in chat, Pam has skulls in her front yard. Yeah. Pam has a skull out there that's watching too. So, I mean,
yeah, you do.
I mean, it's not nothing bad about my skulls. It's just something that I like. It's not, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I got cameras. I mean, yeah, my house is, and plus on the inside, I have dogs and my brother stays here now and he has his own hand weapon and there's like 6 other ones in here. So, I mean, the boyfriend has them. But I mean, come to my house and we'll see what you get. I mean, unless I don't know you, you ain't getting in here.
Right.
So, I mean, like Candace would say, like that song. Come to my house, we'll see what you get. But, that is what it is.
I'm going to tell you, for one, I don't know if you could call that a house up at 110. And two, who the hell would want to go there? That,
Not me. I have no urge to go to Tennessee. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm afraid if you go there, you may be part that's missing. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it just keep yourself safe.
Right.
Keep your children safe.
I wanted to get through some more of this content.
Okay, go ahead.
Tonight, girl.
Go ahead.
A lot. I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off this yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers.
Yes.
And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma. And
washing her hands?
She wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay, and I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV.
How's that a PG?
Now she says, you could tell this is a scripted lie. Because see, when she went out the first time to talk to grandma, right? To see when her mother was sitting outside after taking the nap, and grandma's sitting out there in the camper door outside, and she goes over there. Summer was sitting there inside the house, right? When she went out to run over there the first time. She did not tell the boys to watch Summer. She didn't say, boys, I'm good. Your grandmother's sitting out here. I'm going to run over here and see what's up. You watch your sister right here till I get back. She didn't say that, right? She did not say that at that time.
Oh, okay. And if you pass, okay, if you have dogs underneath the house that's had puppies, and I've had them many a times, but if you have a dog that has a set of puppies, you walk right past that. I don't care how many feet you're away. If they hear, and they got better hearing than we do. But if there was a dog, a mother dog, underneath that house, that mother dog would have came out and seen who was out there or being protective of their babies on the inside or under that house. So I don't know how much I buy that there was puppies just born under the house. I don't know how much I buy that either. And that's just my opinion. Because look how tall the grass is. You can hear the grass. The dogs can hear somebody walking. And if the mother dog had puppies, they don't want nobody near.
Right.
Period.
Right. They're going to be well, look at the picture. Look at the picture. Look. She's right there. She's right there at the basement door. Look. She knew right then and there, she knew busted. She knew she was busted because look, you could see the door of grandma's right where they were. You could see it. And there's no way no one came anywhere around here they would have seen and heard. And you're right. The mom dog under this hole right here would have been out of there growling, barking, and carrying on. Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's bullshit. And Ronnie Lawson said, no signs of an abduction. Pruitt even said, wandering off, well, we did the extra deep dive searches, and if she would have been out there, oh, I'm sure we would have found something. We would have knew. So, funny that Don, Candace, and Grandis was right about her wandering off, right? It's funny that they were absolutely right. She wasn't out there. And they knew that. They were saying it before they even searched it. They were saying, hey, she's not out there. You're wasting your time. Well, when you're telling people where someone isn't, you have to know where they are. Don and Candace did not want law enforcement all over their property, all up in their business. They pushed for abduction to get law enforcement away from the property, to get them looking elsewhere and leave them alone. They wanted to lead them and, down a dark road. Like they led people so many times with so many different people, right? Donna would come out and say, oh, Mr. Dobbs was around here, that Mr. Dobbs. And everybody went after Mr. Dobbs. Okay, found out that it was BS. He wasn't nowhere around there. right? Because he had done been ran off by this bunch of sinister human beings. Then he, and Dudley but then everybody found out no, Dudley was at home all day with a broken down car, right? Ran you down a dark. This is and that's what they did to law enforcement. They wanted to leave law enforcement down because, Donald sat right on that news and he said, well, they have to do their, I don't know what it is. And Candace is like, investigation. And he's like, yeah, they have to do their investigation. But it was hard watching them, come out of there and go through all they did when we already told them she wasn't there. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
they should have.
you can't
Like
tell them.
they should have believed them.
Right. This is what you get for not believing us. I would have been like, handcuffed them. As soon as someone tells me, if I was law enforcement, as soon as they tell me, this isn't what happened. If I got a parent standing there telling me that, a child's not here and there, then I'm going to tell them, turn around. I'm handcuffing you, under the suspicion that you know exactly what happened because you're telling me what didn't. And if you tell me what didn't, then obviously you know what did. So we're going downtown. We're going to go downtown and talk about this, right?
Exactly. It was always, they couldn't. And also, Don and Candace, if you listen to the key words, Don and Candace can't even get their story straight. When they were mentioning, Don said the boys had their hair shaved cut the same as some, like Candace. Candace shaved her head like the boys.
No. Listen. And there's another thing I want to bring up while I'm thinking about it. There's another thing I like to bring up to everyone. Eli came up missing from that boyfriend's house, right? From mommy's boyfriend's house. Well, Eli's mommy's boyfriend and Eli's mommy both got put under arrest for child neglect. They was put under arrest, one $20,000 bond, one $15,000. Why in the hell was Candace and Don Wells not put under arrest for neglect? Why are they have not been? I mean, clearly we can see that those children were neglected, all of them. Why have they not been put in handcuffs for neglect the way that Eli's mother and her boyfriend has? I mean, this is double standard. Right?
Yeah, it is. But we're also talking different states.
It don't matter.
Well, I know, but I mean,
it does not matter. Every state, child neglect is against the law in every state.
Oh yeah.
In this country, you cannot neglect a child. It all carries the same. So why are they not handcuffed? Why do they not have $15,000 or $20,000 bonds?
Who's kissing whose butt?
Something about Summer's case. Something about Summer's whole case is not right, y'all.
Exactly.
Something about this whole damn thing is not smelling right. Right? I hate to say it.
The three up there on the hill, I know. And when Don said, I know where she's not, or, I knew they were wasting their time, that's telling everybody, like you said, you know where she is. You don't look for anything if you already know where it is. And they haven't looked for over 2 years in the beginning. Now they're trying to be the helicopter mom and dad that started all over again. No, you wasted your time. You didn't even get a crew together. You didn't get nothing together to help your daughter. So why are you trying to act like it now? You should have been in jail the first 13 days that Candace wouldn't come out and talk. The first 3 days. Because and when she went on Dr. Phil, what'd she say? Oh, I feel like I'm getting interrogated. You needed that a long time ago. Before Dr. Phil. So don't act like you want to do all this now. Because it ain't happening. I never have any wishes on the Whales at all. I ain't had no. I don't give them my sympathy at all.
Right.
They get none. And that's me. Everybody else has their own opinion. But they get no sympathy from me. None. Because all they've done was lie. And Summer has to be out there wherever she's at. And they know. All three of them people know. Every one of them. Every one of them. Because if you go back, PG, who did Don not blame? Candace and Grandis. In the beginning, Don never blamed them, but he blamed everybody else. And them two, plus, a teenage boy, was with Hunter that whole day. It took Candace 2 years to come out and say, oh, I fed her a hot dog. Bull. Come up with some more bull. That's all they got is a bunch of bull. A bunch of lies. Go play somewhere else, Candace and Dawn. And that boy, her son, should have never been there with Dawn. That should have been Candace up there with Dawn. Not her boy.
Right.
That boy, you could tell when Dawn was saying stuff wrong, because go back and look at that video. When Dawn was saying certain stuff, he would look up and look right back down. On certain stuff.
Oh, Molly, you are hilarious. You are hilarious.
And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said,
within 2 minutes I come back.
Yeah.
And I asked the boys where your sister is. No. Let's back up. Can. Right? Let's back it up. Listen. I don't care if I was gone. I don't care if I was gone for an hour. When I first walk in, I'm probably going to put down, my cigarettes and lighter, probably, more than likely, if I had something to drink, I'm going to set it down. I'm going to, walk around, right? I'm going to walk around the house doing whatever. I see the boys playing. I'm probably going to, walk into the kitchen. I'm going to walk back into the laundry room, maybe check on some of that laundry that I supposedly been doing. I'm going to come back out, right? And when I don't see Summer yet, I'm going to go to the bathroom, right? I'm going to go look in the bathroom and then look around the rest. Look at this place. I mean, come on, everybody, look at this place. I'm going to go back out to the room when I first came up into, see if she was out there. And then I'm going to, start saying, boys, where's your sister? She's not in the bathroom. She's not over in the back room. She's not in the clothes room. Where is she? I mean, I would have been looking on the floor down around where they're at, right? Maybe she's under the table. Where is your sister? Where is she? Because, I'm not going to assume that a 5-year-old is in a basement because 5-year-olds are scared of basements. They're scared of upstairs places. They usually don't wander off anywhere by themselves, right? 5-year-olds don't wander off. They like to stay where the other kids are. So now I'm going to ask, where is she? Now if you happen to have a 5-year-old that does run up the stairs or does, run down the stairs or whatever, and I'm not saying they ain't some fearless 5-year-olds, because I'm sure they are. Summer didn't seem to be one, but there is some. So, if it was, we all know each of our kids, right? So if I got that fearless 5-year-old, yeah, I would have I wouldn't ask the boys. I'd have just went down the basement and looked
Yeah,
around
but
to see if
look
she's
at the
there,
way
right?
look at the way they had to go down. There was no. Some people have real staircases. It's lighter up down there. But in this, like Dawn said, it's like, oh, I hope she ain't in a basement or a dungeon somewhere.
Right.
I mean, it's like a dungeon look down there. And look how Candace had to get down there. Turn around her body and go backwards down the staircase to get down there. Because she told Chris, oh, well, you can follow me or you could go around to the basement door. Well, Chris said, I'll just follow you. Well, they turned around, went down. Now, think of a 5-year-old. It's dark. She's not going to want to go and turn around and, go down in some dark, you don't even know where you're stepping.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, it just, and that mess, look, come on, really? I'd be looking under the clothes or
And
under a bucket or something
that's
because,
that's what I'm talking about. Children hide, right? Children hide. Children love to play hide and go seek, right? They love to hide and jump out or go hide and play.
I mean, and, and when Candace says we washed our hands, okay, how'd she wash her hands when she don't even take a shower or a bath or whatever, I mean, how do you wash
Um,
your hands, but we're not going to wash, And then she threw her phone in the truck and went and got grandma's phone. Why? Anybody's phone that's on disconnect will call 911.
right. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
feed all that bullshit, Candace, to somebody else. I mean, BS to someone
Well,
else.
I'm going to tell you what. Um, we know all of this has been scripted. Everything has been scripted, and they couldn't even keep the script, right? They couldn't keep the script.
But
Listen,
Candace said at one time, I'm tired of going by the script. Candace said that on Daisy's one day. I'm tired of going by the script. I mean, that means you're sick of trying, and you and Dawn can't even. And watch Dawn as he puts his arm up. It's a control thing. Dawn don't want nobody up there. You can't give nobody permission to go up on there because he don't want nobody up there doing anything.
he didn't even want law enforcement up there,
No,
right?
absolutely wanted nobody. And when they got into that fight, and all that big old fight, White Boy was up there, Pickle Boy, whatever you want to call him. White Boy was up there. I think that was a fight just to get White Boy to go away and get off the hill, because he had already did some lives on the roof and everything else. He
Right.
don't want people to go on the land and do stuff. That's just flat simple. You do not search Don's property unless you have a warrant.
Right. Right. I mean, you know, under normal circumstances, I don't. Under normal circumstances, I don't want a bunch of people on my property either. You right? But in a circumstances like that, everyone would be welcomed that would want to help, you know, to find a missing child. Everyone would be welcomed. I mean, you know, at that point, man, your property don't mean shit, right? You need to find your child. Your property
Exactly.
don't mean a damn thing. You know, I don't understand it either, but you know, I don't understand it. They got
But they're not.
something.
These people don't act. If you look at a case of a real person that's missing, and you look at this one, something's not right with this one. Something just, and it's the parents that don't, and they want everybody to go with them. They don't want nobody, oh, we're not guilty, we're not. Well, you sure ain't acting like innocent ones. I mean, because some people act a whole lot better than you that really want to find their kids. Don will go over like when the little Sullivan girl was missing, the one out of Sullivan County, Evelyn Boswell, when she was missing. Oh, Don had helped find that one. Why don't you help find your own daughter? Go help Ryan. Go get a crew together with Ryan and put a whole bunch of people together and go look, Don. Why? Because Don already knows where she's at. That's why he won't.
I don't know. Listen, I got to get through this content.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
It's
You
all
want me
right.
to go down?
Oh no, girl, you can hang out with me.
Okay.
She went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes and even the coyotes that are around here. Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray and hope that they have not harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Just go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up. I mean, I don't know, it seems kind of elusive.
Don, it is elusive. It is elusive. That's what you guys have been doing. You've been trying to blow smoke up the backsides of a bunch of people. You're sitting there lying your asses off. You know, yeah, go to law enforcement and clear it up. That's why your old lady had to be forced into the back of a police car, forced in the back of it and took in downtown because she wasn't trying to go down and tell anything. That's why they still don't have the timeline, because if you told the real timeline, that would actually make sense to everything that went down. Oh, well, you'd be taking another ride in that police car, right? Only this time you wouldn't be coming back home.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck and I've never heard of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. And if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it, I think you can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control, so we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head so she wouldn't feel bad, and but
That is a damn lie. Why you gotta lie? Why you always lying? That's what I want to know. Why you always lying, right? Why you always lying? Why? I don't know. I don't know why they always lying. Right here is a haircut that a lot of girls was getting, right? A lot of girls was getting where they had the long hair on top and then they had the kind of, you know, about, I say about a 3 on the sides, right? Around the back, and then they had the top long where it came kind of over it, right? That was something going on at the time, and that is the style of haircut that Candace had on Summer at that particular time. No, Summer didn't do that. She wouldn't have been able to do that. That was someone that knew a little about what they was doing, had done. Now, whether she took her to a barber and did it, or she did it herself, I don't know. But that's the hairstyle that Summer was carrying. And she could have went to kindergarten with it because it looked cute. It really looked cute. And she could have went to kindergarten with it. No reason to cut that baby's hair completely bald the way they did not cut Summer's hair. You know, they didn't give her like an army cut. Someone took a razor and literally shaved her head like a balloon, right? Like a balloon. Slick as it could be.
But it didn't bother her at this point. Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, you know, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything.
That freaking mattress alone, right there, that mattress is freaking child abuse, child neglect. I mean, should have been charged. They should have been charged just for letting children lay on that damn thing.
Else, you know, and I feel for them. But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, you know, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, you know, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way. Just thankful for the person or persons that's doing that, you know, out of love, and trying to get information and trying to get her found. And we thank them from the bottom of our hearts.
It means a lot.
And we thank everybody who's trying so hard and praying so hard. And she's an awesome young lady, and we just want her back.
What now? She's a kid. She's a 5-year-old little girl.
Take a look at this picture. Take a look at this picture. I'm going to tell you something. They left. This is the same day they have her dancing out in the rain around the for sale barrel, doing the twirls, right? She liked to twirl. I know, Don, you liked her to twirl for your videos.
Till my arm fell off.
But you know what? The same day, this child is passed out, just like she was on the milk jugs. She's passed out on his shoulder. And Dudley has not left. He has not left the property yet. His truck wasn't running right. He was probably messing around with the truck, trying to make sure it was going to be okay to get home. Anyway, around the time he's getting ready to leave, he sees Dawn come out of the house and Candace with this baby passed out like this. And they're leaving. And the boys are hollering, "Where are you taking Sissy? Where are you taking Sissy?" Hollering. And Dawn and Candace get in a vehicle and they're leaving with no one but Summer passed out like this. Right? I'm going to tell you, there was some shit going on. There was some shit going on, folks.
And he said,
in my opinion, there was some shit going on.
And he says, lady.
Yeah, there's always going to be haters, and it's always going to.
Look at this. She was all right with it. She was all right with her head looking like that. I don't think so.
She was taking Robin's head in one picture, in one video. She was trying to take Robin's hair off of her and put on her head.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I mean, that's just what, and that's the thing. They think it's all good, but in the same token, she wasn't really. Summer was not what they want everybody to believe.
Hey, right.
To be that way in this world, and we just want to focus on the good friends and Christian people that are trying to help us and praying for us. And
Oh, and I thought the dogs don't bark, Donald. I
Thought
thought
the
the dogs don't bark. I think I was hearing dogs bark, and they barked when Grandma was doing an interview too. You lying? You guys lie. You lie. Absolutely lie. You know, and you think that it's funny. You think it's funny. You think you're going to get away with all of this, but you know what? I don't care what kind of hope you got in Hawkins County or think you got in Hawkins County. I don't know what's going on in Hawkins freaking County. I don't know what's going on in Rogersville right there with all the bullshit. But I do know this. I do know that there is outside law enforcement looking into all of this. And I know that this case is going to be solved. If the inside can't solve it, somebody outside's going to. And you know what? It ain't the smirk on your face and the pull you think you have you're going to find. No. Keep smiling because I got a feeling God's going to wipe that right off your face. He's going to wipe that smirk right the hell off your face.
Exactly.
praying for Summer, and we thank them from the bottom of our hearts. And that's the kind of people we try to relate with and socialize with. So we don't know anything about, no red truck, or we hardly know many of our neighbors. I mean, because we just try to be around good people. I mean,
Laura, the day
And you
I'm going
can
to tell you
see,
something. I cannot listen. I cannot listen to their lying bullshit any longer. I'm sorry.
you know what?
I got
Talk
I
about a
got to
red
turn that.
truck.
I got to turn it off.
There's a video, PG, where the two boys are in the truck and it's raining. That is a red truck, but I don't know nothing about a red truck. Candace is driving a red truck at one time. So don't act like they don't know nothing about a red truck. Remember when he said his boss owned a red truck and he borrowed it every now and then? Why was it on June 15th, 2021, you had to take Candace's car because you said she put her in her car because Grandis said the last time she seen Summer was when Candace was driving out of the driveway to go meet Don to take her to the hospital or whatever. And then we get she put her in her car. Well, you had her car, Don.
But he didn't have her car really, because her car also was that Suburban that's set up there as well. And her car could have been Grandis's because Grandis is a her and her car as well. So, just because he's in one car doesn't, exempt a her and her car thing.
I'm just saying the time that it happened, though, when he said that her car, he was talking, he had her car that day. Grandis said
he had
when-
one of the vehicles, not all of the vehicles. That's what I'm trying to explain. Her and her car could have been the Suburban. It could have been Grandis's. You know, she put her in her car. She put Summer in Grandis's car. She put Summer in Grandis's car. That would be, she put her in her car, which would be Grandis, would be the her. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. The point is I cannot listen to these lying people, and you know, they're clearly lying. You know, Don Wells has smirked too many times, right? He has smirked too many times during the disappearance of his daughter. Candace has sat out there and sickened the hell out of all of us to watch her sit there and be able to, you know, time out people, block people, and hate on people that want to talk about Summer and care about Summer and want to do and help and support her daughter instead of her nasty backside, right? It sickens the hell out of us to see how these two people have gotten away with this sinister shit this long. It's
And
sickening.
Don, if you ask Don, he don't even know nothing about a knee brace. He couldn't tell you. He's never seen one. So how'd she fix a knee brace that day? Yeah. It's all BS that they're wanting to come out. And they want everybody to believe their BS. And their BS is not nothing. It's only if you want to believe them. But if you have your own mind, everybody has. Like, you can believe it or not, you know, hug it out at the end of the day, like you always say.
You know, the Wells enjoy knowing the secret and watching everyone guess. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Do they enjoy knowing that they were evil enough? Do they enjoy knowing that they were evil enough, in my opinion? This is my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it. Are they enjoying knowing that they are evil enough to do whatever has been done to make their child, their daughter, completely disappear? Are they enjoying the fact that they have lost the other children they had? Are they enjoying the fact that nobody in the world really has any damn respect for them? No one, even the ones playing to be their friend, are not their friends. Trust me. Do they enjoying being outsiders now and looked at like the scum of the earth they truly are, that has abused many children? Are they enjoying the fact that everyone knows that all of their dirty laundry has been hung out for the whole world to see? Are they enjoying everyone looking at them like the true evil, disgusting, underhanded, undermined, condescending weirdos that they truly are? Are they enjoying that? Enjoy that. Enjoy that. Because I'm going to tell you something. They thought, with all the dirt that they have already done, right? All the dirt they did in the past up in Utah and over in Wisconsin and over in Arkansas and then down in Tennessee, they thought that, you know what? They had never had to face the repercussions of any of their sinisterness up till now. All of their dirty laundry hasn't been brought forth and put into the light the way it has now. But everybody in the world knows exactly. They are picturing the Wells exactly the way the Wells truly are.
And like Candace said,
you know, and no respect. You know, I don't care. People, you know, Yeah, I'm not doubting there's turd pop suckers that, want to talk nice to the Wells to get all the information they can.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Your friend
But
is
how
not your
does it
friend,
feel?
Candace.
How does it feel to have nothing but fake friends? How does it feel to be nothing but a fake friend? You cannot be a real friend to a fake friend. You cannot ever be a real friend. You will not ever have any real friends again in this life. Donald
If
isn't
they tell
one.
one thing that they tell to these people that they say are their friends, one thing, if they say it, it's going to TBI and, oh, but I thought you were my best friend. Your best friend will even turn you in.
Oh, I'm
That's
going to
like
tell
me.
you.
Don't tell me you're going to kill somebody or tell
I'm,
me that you're going to, or unlive, sorry. Or tell me you're going to do something because it ain't going to happen. Because it's not. It's so much disrespect. And they're laughing. They know where Summer is. They're laughing at everybody out here
in my
because they
opinion,
know,
in
and
my
everybody
opinion,
else
that's
is
right.
bitching.
In my opinion, you're right. Absolutely.
And one time they tell one thing.
This has been some kind of game for these people. But I'm going to tell you, here's how I truly feel. I truly believe that if Don and Candace, if Donald, I don't know about Candace, but if Donald could go back to June 15th, 2021, whatever happened to Summer would not have happened. It would not have happened. If you think that he's living comfortable and he's, and he's okay with losing what little bit of respect he once had at being a decent worker, trying to take care of his family, and what little respect he did have, and it wasn't much, but it was a hell of a lot more than he's got now. And if he could go back and just have that again, he would damn take it.
And the one friend, I gotta say this, the one friend he did have that was trying to help him to go the right direction, that everybody wants to yell at, and that's PG. PG tried to get Dawn to come out way back, and you know this, PG, way back in the beginning. Tell what you know, but he wouldn't do it. He would not do it.
I think he would have done it. I think he would have done it had he not got mixed up with the wrong people.
Exactly.
What I'm trying to say is there wasn't anyone with a brain controlling a YouTube channel that could have actually got some vital information. What I'm saying is, we would have gotten a lot more information if Cher would not have been shutting Dawn down. She was too busy, acting like she was protecting him. She was too busy trying to be his friend and trying to protect him in order to keep him for the click, likes, and views, instead of getting the information needed for Summer's case to be solved. She would not if she would have let them two idiots rant and rave and go at it, and say whatever, unfiltered, instead of stopping it all or knocking them out, of the picture. And we'll talk later behind the scenes, because I got to tell you, you're going to have to start leaving so Candace don't say something stupid. If you guys did do something, she's going to give it out. This is what was going on. behind the scenes with Cher and Donald. Cher was basically, you know, making Donald a better criminal than what he already was, right? In order to keep him in her pocket. And I damn know this to be a fact. I know this to be a fact. She's even sending pictures of herself, right? I mean, come on. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. And you know, she's not. Cher is not. She is not brilliant at all. Matter of fact, she's fucking, you know, not to be mean or anything. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be truthful. And sometimes the truth, you know, sounds mean. I'm not, do not please get me wrong. But I'm going to tell you something. You cannot have someone that is working on one fucking brain cell because the rest of them has already been damaged by substance abuse herself, right? Running a show like that, because you're not going to get the answers needed for the child who is missing. What I'm saying is Cher wasn't there for Summer. She's there for herself. And that's the way it was. And she was the same way with Quentin. She wasn't there for Quentin. She's there for herself. Cher always takes up and always wants to be for the evilness instead of the righteousness. And I don't like that. That's, you know, that's the problem I have with Cher. That's the problem I have with her, right? She don't ever seem to want to do a damn thing righteous for the victim. And I have a problem with that, because you know what? We're not out here. We're not out here to be for criminals. We're not out here to teach criminals to be better criminals. We're not out here, you know, to do this. We're out here to get answers for the victim so the victim can be found and brought home. My God, come on. These are children we're talking about. These are little children that we are talking about. If you ain't going to have mercy for a child, you ain't going to have mercy for no one. You're just, you know.
And that's like Candace. If Candace lost all of these friends, she's already done it on a live one night. She lost a friend and she cried over losing a friend. Not losing her daughter, losing a friend. What about your daughter? That's who you need to cry over, Candace. That's who you guys need to bicker with. That's who you need to holler with.
Why are you going to cry over something that you didn't ever want, that you didn't ever bond with, that you didn't ever care about, that has gotten old enough that you don't even like and you're jealous of? Why are you going to cry over that? She's not going to cry over that.
Because she didn't care about Summer to begin with.
That's like Summer to Candace was like a old pair of shoes that you couldn't ever stand. You couldn't ever stand it. You didn't even want them. And you can't wait to get rid of them, right? Summer was like an old pair of shoes to her that she was forced into buying and didn't ever want to wear to begin with, and just tossed out. That's how that child was to her, right? Was to her. The only time Candace paid attention to that pair of shoes is when she saw someone else like them. Somebody else might want them. And then that just made her jealous, right? That made her jealous. That made her want to get rid of the shoes even more, to see someone wanting them. That's what I'm trying to say.
And the way Don talked about his daughter, like he was married to his daughter, not married to Candace, married to his daughter. That's what Candace didn't like. Candace didn't like it that Summer was close to Don or close to the dogs or close to anything. Because he wasn't close to her.
Right. You know, Candace was that type of person, you know, she's that type of person. And like I said, that old pair of shoes, if a girl came up there and said, "Ooh, I like those shoes would really look good on me," Candace like, "Oh hell no, they wouldn't." You know, you're not gonna be trying to turn somebody on in my pair of shoes, you know. And that's the way she thought about Summer. She felt that, she felt that Donald wanted Summer. She felt that, other people, like she said, I didn't like the way Dudley was looking at Summer. I didn't like the way he was looking at Summer. Well, I'm going to tell you, he wasn't looking at Summer in a, no, she didn't like the way he looked at Summer, because he looked at Summer like, are you a boy or are you a girl? What the hell they do to your head? Right? What's going on up here? Is this normal? Of course she didn't like it, but she lied and act like Dudley was looking at Summer in a way that he shouldn't be looking at a little girl. She tried to turn the table on him, and I didn't like that as well. I didn't
That's
like
what
that
she
as well.
always
Now maybe to her, any attention, let it be positive or negative. Any attention made her jealous. Just the fact that he was paying attention probably made her jealous, because Candace wanted all the attention, right? Look at me, like she's doing now. We ain't talking about Summer. You'll get timed out, you'll get blocked. It ain't about Summer. Tonight's not about Summer. The other night wasn't about Summer. The other week wasn't about Summer. Last year, last month, it's not ever about Summer. It's not, and it's not going to be about Summer now. And Candace's head, right? Because Candace wants everything to be about Candace.
And when Dale Terry was up there, she said, "Oh, bring my baby to me. Bring my baby." It was an adult and she was kissing. What about your daughter? She was your baby before all of this. And you ain't saying nothing about that. You're telling everybody out there that, oh, if anybody abuses kids, that they ought to be hanging up to dry. But you ain't got 7 of them, Candace.
I would not suspect, what I'm saying is, I don't want to believe that anything like that was going down with Summer. For Summer's sake, I don't like to believe things like that. But you can't turn a blind eye. You can't turn a blind eye to Don's past and touching that other 5-year-old little sister. You can't turn a blind eye to the fact that, he was touching them 12 and 13-year-olds. You can't turn a blind eye to the fact that, he was, doing things with Summer that just is not normal for a parent to be doing. And it personally, yes, it seems like this child was going through a lot that we know nothing about. And, I just cannot support. I cannot support monsters. I cannot support monsters like the Wells, and I cannot support anyone that supports them monsters.
Like you said, when that one girl, he said she had a body and that she was going to be pregnant by 16 because she had a body from, and it's sickening the way he talks about girls and this and this and this. It's just so sickening to hear both of them talk. And Candace saying out there when she's walking with Chris, well, when Chris asked her, have you and H ever had anything? Well, I'm married. I got 4 kids and a husband. Like you really cared.
And here you are laying in a bed with this teenage boy, hanging all over him as much as you possibly can. And you got him out in the middle of nowhere with you and your daughter, feeding him illegal twisted teas and illegal vapes and other things as well. And we really are going to believe you. No, we're not.
No.
You're lying your freaking ass off. You are sinister. Nobody's child is safe around you. No one's
Yeah.
child is safe around you or your husband or your freaking granny, right? No one is safe. Not even adults are safe around them, right? I mean, if you're a man, you have to act like you know, even if you ain't, you have to act like, you know, you like, you know, other guys in order to keep them from trying to, you know, trying to put themselves all over you. I mean, you know what it's sad, man. It's sad, you know,
Like
that people,
Like
what
she
I'm
broke
saying
down.
is Jose went up there and Jose totally got violated, right? He totally got violated by freaking a mud fence, right? By a mud fence. You
And
know,
why did she break down at the swimming hole? Because that was a place that one of her sleeping buddies had retired from.
and look at poor Benny. Poor Benny. That guy went up there. He got violated too. You know, and once these guys get violated, they're not ever the same. They're not ever the same after that, right? I mean, what I'm saying is, they not ever the same in a bad way, not a good way. They are not ever the same in a bad way. It's like, whoa, you know, like they totally lost their mind, right?
Don't have any red panties around or a poodle. Because Don likes both of them.
So we hear. Yeah. Listen, Pam,
Okay, in my opinion.
I'm going to, you know, I don't know. I have no idea, you know, who's telling the truth, who ain't. From what it sounds like, Fred possibly could be telling more of the truth than any of the rest. From what Jody Sue said, they was there long before law enforcement. That would mean that they were in there and went back out and came in again around the time law enforcement was showing up. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible.
Like you could do. Let people go. Bring that video back out of Dawn doing that down that road and let people listen. He says we and then he says I.
You know, if Andy came in, if Andy truly did come in to Ben Hill Road, now I don't know if he did or not, with a vehicle following him, that you couldn't see through the windows of. It's possible it had Donald in it and someone else. And when Andy went back out of there, right? When Andy went back out of there with the whoever followed him in, it's possible that Summer went back out of there with them, right? It's possible that she went back out of there with them. That could be why Candace called Summer out of the house to plant flowers, is because they were there to pick her up. And that would make perfect sense. That she got taken out of the area. And the person in the dark tenant truck probably dropped Don back off at Don's vehicle and went on wherever they was going with Summer. That would make perfect sense, right? It's very possible. It's plausible. Yes, it is plausible. That could have happened. I don't know. It sounds like what happened to me. It sounds like what happened to me, but I don't know. Now I understand.
If Candace thinks in her right mind that you cannot be tried as even without a body, it's up to the prosecutor to have what they need,
You can
but
definitely,
it can be.
you can. Absolutely.
Yeah,
You can. Listen, Pam,
exactly.
I've been in here for a New York minute and I need to get out of here because I have to, I have to work. I have to work and I got to get sleep.
All
Something I
right.
didn't get much of. So,
I'm sorry.
hey, it's all right, girl. It's all right. You know, I
Candace and Dawn, I want I want one thing. Candace and Dawn, please, if you cared anything about Summer, tell the truth or bring her forward and we'll take care of it. Don't think that in your right mind that it's all going to go away, because we're not going away, Dawn or Candace or Grandis. If you know anything, say something. Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Call
absolutely,
1-800-TBI-FIND.
absolutely. Listen, y'all.
Bye.
PG will not be in here tomorrow night. I will not be in here tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Friday. It's the 7th. PG takes the 7th off. So, with that being said, I hope all of you, the Bible tells us to, keep the Sabbath holy. Make sure that, we keep the 7th holy. You really ain't supposed to be doing nothing. I know God understands if you have to do something, but if you don't, you should be taking it easy, spending time with your family, enjoying life and taking some time to pray and get closer to the Lord on the 7th.
Good night, all.
Good night, Pam. To know, that there's a higher being above you. We have to understand there's a higher being above us. And we need to be doing what's righteous in the sight of God. So PG is taking off from Friday evening. The 7th starts on Friday and runs until Saturday. So it goes from evening to evening. I hope all of you enjoyed your Sabbath. I'm going to definitely try to enjoy mine. God willing. But I won't be in here tomorrow night. A lot of people hit me up and say, "Are you going live? Are you going live?" No. Every Friday, you will not see PG. You will not see me opening no lives. Absolutely not. So, and I, like I said, I hope that, all of you observe the Sabbath because the Bible tells us to. And that's what we should be doing. And then, it's back to business. It's back to business Saturday night, Sunday, right? Back to business. And Sunday's the day you go to church, you congregate, you congregate with other Christians and keep your faith strong. Just keep your faith in God and everything strong. So, hopefully if you go to church. If you don't go to church, you don't have to go to church to stay bonded to God. You could do that by staying home, reading your Bible, and, and sharing the word of God with other people around you, right there in your own household. You don't have to be in a building somewhere to do that. But, it helps to congregate with other Christians. Because it lets you know there's still a lot of good people on this earth when you do so. But I won't be in tomorrow night. I just want to let everyone know that now. And God willing, we'll be back. We'll be back Saturday night. If not Sunday, we'll be back, on this case. And hopefully the updates on the other cases as well. Eli still has not been found. Audrey, on Summer's Facebook, I posted up Audrey's obituary for everyone. You can read it. They're going to have some lighting services and so forth for people, for everyone who loves her to join in and be there. But the service and the final funeral is going to be private, just for family and close friends, and they would really like for people to give them their space, give them time to grieve and so forth and so on. Give them respect, give the family respect, is what they're asking for. So, let us just spread the word that, to give this family their space. There's no words we can say to anyone who has lost a loved one. The most we can do is just pray, right? Pray that God somehow lets them find some kind of peace within all that's going on, and be there for the people who really need it, and during a tragic time like this. I'm sure they know a lot more than we do, right? They know a lot more than we do. And it's got to be pretty devastating. It's got to be, what they know has to be very devastating. And it's going to take a long time to heal from all of this, right? So, let us keep the respect. But if anyone, there is a couple, like I said, a couple of services that they're going to have that they don't mind outsiders, who truly love this little girl and who truly has been involved in all of this, followed this case to the T. There is some that you are welcome to show up at. There will be some that you're very welcome to show up at. And I posted it out on Summer's Facebook for everyone. You can check it out over there. We also made a beautiful picture for Audrey that, is attached to her obituary on Summer's Facebook. We made that picture for her as well. So I just wanted to let you know that. And we will stay updated on Eli in the coming days. And we won't ever give up on Summer, ever, until she is found, brought home, and justice is served, right? But let us keep praying for Michael Vaughn as well, right? Let us pray for Michael. I don't hear a lot about Michael anymore out here in the YouTube world. And I think it's very important to keep Michael out here in the YouTube world, right? I think it's very important. I'm thinking about picking up Michael's case as well, and start alternating between Summer and Michael and Eli, because I know that I have respect for Michael's parents, and I know they do not want Michael intertwined with Summer's case because of the Wells, and I respect that. But Michael does need to stay out here until he is found. He needs, the attention. His case really needs the attention like Summers is getting in order for him to be found. When people see how much a child is loved and cared about, sometimes it could weigh on their conscience. And, and if they have information or they know information or anything, something could, touch their heartstring to go forth and tell it. And, so that's why it's important that we do what we do. And not only that, but it lets law enforcement know that this child has not been forgotten. Please don't forget them, and try all you can to do what you can to solve the case. So we're going to try to keep Michael out here as well. He has been on my mind quite a bit lately. I don't know why, but he has. And I just feel that, his case needs to pick up. That's what, I truly do. I think his case just needs to be picked up and move forward until he is found as well. So please pray for him to be found also, and pray for Summer. Please pray for these children. They want to be found. They need to be found. They need to be brought home. Justice needs to be served against these evil humans that could do such a horrible thing to a baby. I mean, they are babies. Yeah, they're just 5-year-old little children. That should not have been done like this. And Eli was only 3. So please keep these children in your prayers. Keep Audrey's family in your prayers. Keep one another in your prayers. Let us pray for everyone, not someone. But pray especially for these kids, because they need us the most. They need to be brought home. And I feel that the only one that can help anybody in a case like this is God Almighty. God Almighty is the only one that can lead the right people to these children so that they can be brought home, laid to rest if they're no longer with us. Right? If they're no longer with us. And justice be served against the evil ones that can do such things. We have to keep praying. We got to keep asking. At some point, I know God will answer. So please keep them prayers going up. Keep them going up for one another. So many people need prayer. So many unspoken prayers. People don't want you to know all their business, but they sure wish somebody be praying for them. So let us be the ones praying in the name of Jesus. Amen. Listen, PG's going to say good night. God bless. Much love, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, being a voice for the voiceless. God bless. I know there's a gift in heaven, a gift there for each and every one of you that spend your time doing what you do. Good night.